Hey there, I'm Adrienne. Welcome back to Better Days Start Today. I just got back from a backpacking trip in Grand Teton National Park, which was absolutely spectacular. And I will talk more about the trip on another day. But today I wanted to talk about the idea of doing things that you're miserable doing. So when I was on this trip, I was walking and I realized I felt more at peace than I have felt in a very long time. I felt relaxed. I felt in awe of my surroundings. Though I was doing something physically strenuous, I felt amazing in my body. I felt content with where I was. I felt hopeful for what's coming, for the unknown. I just had this feeling of peace with myself, with my life, with what I was doing. And it got me thinking of all the things that I don't feel at peace with in my life, the things I don't enjoy doing, but I'm telling myself I have to do them. I started wondering as I'm hiking along, how can I make my life feel more like I feel right now? And I know when I'm writing, when I'm moving, when I'm working with people one-to-one or in small groups, I love that. I'm excited. I enjoy it. When I do some of the more behind the scenes stuff, social media, the marketing, anything that doesn't feel super creative to me, even though for somebody else those things may feel very creative, I almost have this feeling of dread. I don't want to do it. I don't enjoy doing it. And I understand attitude is everything, but sometimes while I do these things, I don't have the best attitude. So I was trying to think, how can I bring these good feelings, these peaceful feelings, into the things that I, quite frankly, don't really want to be doing? As I thought more and more about this as I'm hiking along, I thought instead of trying to make the things I don't want to do feel better, maybe I should be examining how much of those things I actually, quote unquote, need to do. The thing is, I feel like we get to a certain point in our life, and whether we're consciously realizing it or not, we are following a playbook somebody else created. So if you're building a business online, you're following experts and their playbook and what worked for them. If you're going into a new profession, you study and you get whatever credentials you need, whatever training you need, and then you go about doing things the way successful people in that area do it. And I think we could apply this to life. People tend to follow a certain playbook of things, say with fitness. Maybe they like CrossFit or High Rocks or Peloton, or they only do endurance work, or they are more heavy on strength work, whatever it is. But you follow the thing that somebody else kind of laid out before you. And so I was thinking about this. How many things, even though I feel like I consciously create my life, how many things within that conscious creation are things that I'm still doing because it's the way I'm supposed to do it? Then I got reminded of a conversation that I had with R.D. Weeks, Robert David Weeks, on his podcast, Make Burnout Extinct. If you look for that on any podcast platform, you'll find it. A couple episodes back, there's an episode with me. And we were talking about the fact that there is no right way, but there's a right way for you. I love this idea because I think we can all have very different goals, or we may even have the same goal, but there's a lot of different ways to get to it. And so I started thinking about that conversation. The thing is, in life, there's no ruler, there's no bar, there's no thing that applies to every single one of us. It's up to us to decide what the parameters and the rules are for our own lives and how we do things, how we show up. And then we have to honor those things and actually be brave enough to take the steps that we need to take to follow whatever we decided is our right way. The only bar that matters is our own, the bar we set for ourselves, what we decide is important for us. When I think about how can I make the things that I don't enjoy less miserable, maybe I need to figure out how not to do the things that are making me miserable. And I understand sometimes we have to do things we don't like or don't want to do to get to the outcome. But is there an opportunity to be more creative with the path so I don't have to do so many of the things that I don't like to still get to the same outcome? So for today, I'd just like you to consider what in your life applies to this. Where might you be following a playbook that you didn't write for yourself? What is something that you would do if you could get to the same end result by doing something totally different? If you could make up the rules on your own, make up the plays that fill the playbook on your own, what would you do? What in your life doesn't quite fit? Is there anything that just doesn't quite fit, doesn't feel right? And what might feel better? I hope this has been helpful for you, and I hope that you will perhaps journal on some of these questions. I know that I'm doing a lot of journaling on these things myself. I came to some realizations on the hike, and I'm working through some additional breakthroughs, if you will. And I'm trying to remind myself that I don't need to get caught up in the supposed to's. If something doesn't feel aligned or that doesn't feel like the best path for me, I can take a pause, reevaluate, and figure out what does work for me right now. If you haven't already grabbed the Reimagine Your Life guide, grab it on my website. I will put a link below in the show notes, the episode description. And this will give you some journaling prompts, some AI prompts that you can use to help figure out what might be possible in your life that you haven't yet considered. I hope you have an amazing week. Until next time.
Thanks so much for spending time with me on Better Days Start Today. If you loved this episode, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the podcast, and leave a review. It helps more people find this space and start creating their better days too. And hey, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at adriancrowley.com. You'll get exclusive tips, tools, and access to complimentary events designed to support you every step of the way. Until next time, remember, your better days, they start today.